Melanie Brown says it was horrible to see Geri Horner caught up in a nightmare over husband Christian's alleged texts to a female employee, saying, "That's my friend, and I just want to protect her." Melanie, 48, who has been close to Geri for 30 years, said all of the Spice Girls have been messaging her around the clock since the texts leaked. And she insisted they would all do anything they could to help support her through the ordeal, saying, "We would literally take a bullet for each other." She knows that she has the four of us with her. It emerged this week the woman at the center of the row had been suspended, while Red Bull boss Horner, who vehemently denies any wrongdoing, praised his wife for her phenomenal support. Speaking in an exclusive interview, Melanie said, "Oh God, we are all so supportive of each other, we would literally take a bullet for each other. Between the four of us we've all been messaging her, I sent a message to her earlier. I just feel for her, and, oh my God, I just feel sad. But she knows she has us four that are with her. Because I don't really know the ins and outs, all I see is, that's my friend and I know what she's going through is really tough. All you can do is be there, just like the girls have been there for me, all I can do is be there for Geri. But it is horrible to see your friend going through something that you don't quite know what it is, but that's your friend and you want to protect her, no matter what. What us five have been through in the 30 years we've known each other, that's a solid bond. I remember when I was getting my first divorce, and my then husband wouldn't move out of my house. I called the girls first. I think it was Mel who said to me, "Get your baby and come stay with me," and Emma had the house opposite, and I was just protected by my girls. That was it. That is our friendship. Melanie's incredible bond with the other Spice Girls, Geri, Victoria Beckham, Emma Bunton and Melanie Chisholm, made it all the more devastating when they learned she had been hiding her 10-year abusive marriage to ex-Stephen Belafonte from them. Now a patron for domestic abuse charity Women's Aid, Mel, who left Belafonte in 2017, finally revealed the extent of her torment a year later in autobiography Brutally Honest. The abuse had become so severe that she took an overdose after years living in a violent, twisted hell. And Mel told how the other girls were riddled with guilt that they hadn't done more to save her. She went on, "Victoria's mum told me she was beside herself when she read the book, Emma was in tears too. They were all riddled with guilt. I had to rebuild so many relationships after I left my marriage, but with them not so much. If anything I had to take that guilt away from them and reassure them that no matter what they had said, I wouldn't have listened, I would have probably lied. Even if they had come to me, and I remember Geri did try to talk to me, on the penultimate date of our tour in Toronto in 2008. She found me on the floor of the shower, crumpled up in the fetal position, crying. But even if they had tried at other times, I would have still lied. I would have said, no, everything's fine. That's what I did on America's Got Talent for 7 years. That's why going back last year I felt like I no longer had to hide a dirty secret. I didn't have to hang around late, dreading going home, because now I know what I'm going home to." After leaving her marriage, mum of 3 Melanie, who had earned more than £80 million in her career, was left with just £700 in her bank account, and costly divorce and custody battles to fight. Returning to her native Leeds in 2019, she moved into her mum's bungalow with her kids Phoenix, 24, Angel, 16, and Madison, 12. But she continued to struggle with the trauma she had endured, and contemplated suicide again in October 2020, on one truly awful night. In the hours that followed, she was recommended to a clinic that deals with extreme trauma and went on to experience unconventional transcranial electromagnetic therapy 20 in a bid to deal with the after-effects of abuse. Today, she says she is able to look back and see how far she has come. She went on, "When you come out of abuse, you don't really trust yourself or anyone else. Slowly but surely, you have to relearn a lot of things. Since then, I've moved to Leeds, lived with my mum, did the Spice Girls tour, got my MBE, for services to charitable causes and vulnerable women, got engaged, bought a house, tried all these different therapies. A lot's changed, and I want to explain the journey you take after abuse. It stays with you, and it stores in your body, in your emotions because you're plagued with guilt and shame. I come from a very working-class family, so even to say, I've had therapy, my mom would say, oh God, you're very American. And everyone needs to find their own niche, but if you've come from abuse you need to have some kind of outlet that's going to heal you. Trauma is trauma, and it's a question of how loud that trauma voice is. So how loud is her trauma voice now? She considers, not that loud, I've figured out the tools. I don't have suicidal thoughts anymore, but if I feel that dark cloud coming then I know what to do. I still get nightmares, I still wake up in the middle of the night scared, clinging to Rory McPhee, her fiancé. At times, I will come home and go straight upstairs to my room, and he'll have to check on me, look in my eyes to see if I'm in that zone. Normally it's because I've had to explain to someone who doesn't know about abuse, and really put it in black and white. Which I don't mind doing because it educates people. And I'm not as anxious as I was. I know how I feel, and what I've been through. That's why I can stand up and be the voice for men and women who don't have a voice. Melanie's ex-husband, Stefan Belafonte, denies all allegations made by the singer and television personality. Brutally Honest by Melanie Brown and Louise Gannon, Quadrille, £10.99. The expanded new paperback with bonus new chapters is out now. For confidential support, call the 24-hour National Domestic Abuse Free phone helpline on 0808 2000 247 or visit womensaid.co.uk if you or your family have lost a friend or family member through fatal domestic abuse. AFDA, Advocacy After Fatal Domestic Abuse, can offer specialist and expert support and advocacy. For more info visit www.afda.org.uk. Follow Mirror Celebs on TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube and Threads.